Hi folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another game, another match day video, and this one is a big one. We're in the relegation zone at the foot of League One for Kelty Hearts versus Cove Rangers. Cove probably safe now, they're out of the automatic relegation zone. They could still be dragged back into the playoffs if results go against them. Kelty, on the other hand, they need to win both the remaining games to even stand a chance. They also need results elsewhere to go their way. So a lot to play for both sides here. Sure to be a nervy afternoon. I'm quite sure most of the fans will be keeping half an eye. They'll have their phone on results elsewhere. Looking at Peterhead in particular, where they are playing against Hamilton Accies, which will obviously have a big impact as well on the final standings. So stay tuned. We'll have all the usual build-up. We'll have all of the match reaction. Stick around all the way to the very end. We'll wrap up today's results and look at the standings, where that leaves us as we head into the final week of the season next weekend. I'm Kevin Marshall, and this is Kelty Hearts versus Cove Rangers.
Lay down your faith, just enjoy in my game. Give up your tricks, I know your actions are fake. Lay down your faith, just enjoy in my game.
So a quick look at the league table here then. You'll see Kelty Hearts there in 10th spot. That's the automatic relegation spot. The team that finishes 10th this season will drop down, be relegated into League 2 for next season. And right at the moment that is Kelty, as it has been for a good old chunk of the season. I think it was sometime since November that they dropped down into that spot. Cove you'll see sitting in 7th. So safe from automatic relegation. There is still a bit of a risk there that they can be pulled back into the playoff spot, the 9th spot. Team will finish in a playoff and they'll have to play off against the teams top of League 2 for that other relegation spot. So Cove, like I say, still a slight danger that they can be pulled back into that spot. But I think they will be quietly happy about the way they've got themselves out of danger. If we switch over to this other graphic here, which I've borrowed from the SPFL website, you'll see there Cove, for a good chunk of the early part of the season, were in 10th. They managed to climb their way out of there. Kelty dropped down into 10th, and since then Kelty have been rooted to the foot of the table, and Cove stabilised quite well, and then just in the last month or so you'll see them just climbing the way out of danger there. So yeah, like I say, I think they'll be pretty pleased with the way they've progressed and the way they've got themselves out of trouble. Some other data that I have pulled also from the SPFL's website, and it's in relation to shots on goal, shots on target. And you'll see there the two teams, today's two teams, Kelty Hearts and Cove Rangers, quite a difference between both the shots on goal and the shots on target. Kelty, bottom of the table in terms of shots, 30% behind Cove in terms of shots on goal. And even when we look at shots on target, still bottom of the table, and a 15% difference between the two sides when it comes to shots on target. Now obviously all of that directly relates then to goals scored, and as you've seen from the league table, Kelty are also bottom in that respect as well. So yeah, I think all of that probably just underlines the position that Kelty are in and how they've found themselves in that 10th spot in the relegation zone. And lastly here, just a quick look at the starting lineups. Kelty look like it's the exact same lineup that started last week up at Inverness. No changes there that I can see. So that means Kelty will start with Kyle Gourley in goal, a back four of Jack Bryden, Alistair Davidson, Dylan Corr and Sam Fisher. There'll be a midfield of Alex Ferguson, Lewis Moore, Aaron Arnott, Luke McCarville, Aaron Pettifer, with Cameron Cooper as the lone striker up top. Looking over at the visitors, a couple of names worth pointing out there. Joe Teasdale and Lewis Carroll, both of those guys spent a bit of time at the early part of this season on loan at Kelty from Aberdeen as part of the cooperation agreement. That loan was terminated and they moved over to Cove along with teammate Cooper Masson. So the three of them now in blue, where they started the season in maroon. Worth remembering that Cooper Masson came on as a sub at the visit to the Balmoral Stadium a couple of months ago and scored the equalising goal to deny Kelty a win up there in Aberdeen a couple of months ago. And you can check that video out here if you haven't watched it already. The other name on the Cove team sheet then that's also worth mentioning is captain Mitch Megginson, proven goal scorer at this level, seems to have been around a long time, seems to have been scoring goals an awful long time, and a very, very dangerous player, one that Kelty will really have to watch very carefully. Hi folks, just a quick update. We've played 10 minutes on the watch and there's an early goal here for Cove Rangers. Came from a defensive error, never really got cleared, broke to an attacker wide right. The shot, I think Kyle Gourley seemed to get a touch to it and just pushed it out, but it fell kindly for Adam Emsley, who was in the 6-yard box. Fairly straightforward finish for him and put Cove ahead in the 9th minute of the game. Kelty had started quite well up until that point. A nice early chance. It was saved well at this end. Just looking, there's a chance here, not quite. So, falling behind very early on in this game, in a must-win game, we're already leaving ourselves with a mountain to climb. 10 minutes on the watch, and it's Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1.
Get right out! Walk! John! Can run!
Damn it. Ah, damn it.
Goal scorer for Cove, number 9, Mitch Megginson.
Yep, so that's a bit of a disaster for Kelty. They've conceded the second goal on 30 minutes, scored by Mitch Megginson. Came after a really good spell of possession for Kelty as well. I counted probably about 10-15 passes, good patient build up, but the problem is there was absolutely no cutting edge. Everything was across the front of Cove. There was certainly nothing through them, no incisive passing or anything like that. The move broke down, they gave the ball away, and 2 touches later it's in the back of the net. And that's the big difference, I think. Kelty ponderous and slow and patient. There's nothing wrong with being patient in possession, but there needs to be something on the end of it, and there really wasn't. And then they just gave it away, punished by a real top-class finisher at this level, Mitch Megginson. So that's 32 minutes on my watch now, and it's Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2.
Stand up, Connor!
Hi folks, so that's half time here at New Central Park. Kelty trailing by 2-0. Second goal from Mitch Megginson there on the half hour. Feels a wee bit like the final nail in the coffin, if I'm being honest. Kelty with a mountain to climb by any stretch of the imagination. If they're going to do this, then they're certainly going to have to do it the hard way. Cove looking pretty comfortable at the minute. Kelty doing alright in spells. So, some good possession, some decent half chances, but the finishing just not good enough. Everything's either off target or it's straight at the goalkeeper. So yeah, they need to be much better, much stronger in front of goal, I think, if they are going to get themselves back into this game. I think they need to start the second half on the front foot and try and get that early goal. I was just talking to somebody who was keeping an eye on another game, and the team that he was talking about had come back from 3-0 down to make it 3 each. So it can happen. I think one thing about football is things can change on an incident, whether it's a little bit of luck or a referee decision, anything like that can be a turning point in the game. Kelty certainly need something to turn the game in their favour just now, because as it stands at the moment, they are heading straight out the trapdoor into League 2 next season, so they really need to do something in this second half to swing the game back in their favour. Half time here at New Central Park, and it's Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2.
Chance at the back. Nobody.
Well, Hi folks, so that's full time here at New Central Park. Kelty Hearts have lost 2-0 to Cove Rangers. That means their relegation from League One has been confirmed. Probably not a huge shock to anybody. I think we probably all knew that it was on the cards anyway. It was a really long shot that we could avoid that relegation spot. We needed to win both games and needed Hamilton to lose both of theirs. As it turned out, we lost 2-0 here. Hamilton have won 3-1 at Peterhead. So today's result for Kelty was largely irrelevant anyway. I think whatever happened today, if Hamilton had won up there at 3-1, then Kelty would have been down anyway. Nevertheless, I think we would have liked to have seen that go at least to the last day of the season next week at Peterhead, and maybe just give the fans a little bit of hope just for another week or so. So it is confirmed we'll be playing in League 2 next season. I think what we'll do after we've done our Sunday morning wrap up and looked at the rest of the results and things like that, we'll probably also have a little bit of a look at League 2, the teams that we probably will be facing next season, and maybe have a little bit of a look forward to that as well. But that's it, I think, for here just now. Final score at New Central Park, it's Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2. Hi folks, so here we are doing just our usual Sunday wrap up, day after the game, look back at the result and where that leaves the club in the standings after that game. Taking the game first of all then, I thought Kelty played really quite well in places yesterday. They were a little bit unfortunate at the goals. I think the first one was just a little bit slack defending. And then the second one, I thought they knocked the ball about really well. They were keeping possession well, but just no end product. Unfortunately then gave the ball away and got a lesson in finishing from a master at it at this level, Mitch Megginson. I've probably said a couple of times he scores goals at this level for fun, and he showed yesterday he still got that in his locker and punished Kelty. Second half, I thought they tried really hard. They gave it a good go. Probably more shots in that second half than I've seen in any game for Kelty this season. All a little bit too little, too late, I think, is probably the end analysis on that one. But yeah, I think the team deserve a little bit of credit for the way they've rallied just in the last 2 or 3 months and gave it a right good go. They have been bottom of the table for, I think, since about November, so probably more than half of the season. So I don't think it should be too much of a surprise to anybody. It's been on the cards that they were going to be relegated, and I think just the effort that they've put in just on the last couple of months, I think has probably taken it later than most people thought. But relegation is the end result, so next season they will definitely be playing in League 2. And when you look back at some of the statistics, it's kind of difficult to argue with the relegation. Fewest games won, fewest points accumulated, fewest clean sheets, fewest goals scored, most goals conceded, fewest shots on goal, fewest shots on target. You know, all of that adds up, I think, to Kelty being the poorest team in the league this season, and like I say, it's kind of difficult to argue against that relegation. You don't end up at the end of the season in the relegation spot by accident. So yeah, I think harsh reality to face up to, but I think we need to be honest with ourselves, and I think that is definitely the case. I did suggest yesterday that we might look a little bit at the teams we could be facing next season, but I think in hindsight I might give that a miss just now and maybe reflect on that in a couple of weeks' time, once all of the playoffs and all of the other standings are finalised and we know what that league's going to look like for 2027 season. But one quick thing just worth mentioning, Kelty have played in League 2 previously, just the one season back in the 2021-22 season where they finished up champions. So I think in that respect there's probably a lot to look forward to. It'd be nice to get back and think that we can start winning a few games and start enjoying our Saturdays again for a change. And maybe just a minute to reflect on how they've done in League One. I think that's 4 consecutive seasons in League One now. Finished 8th first season after promotion, then 6th 2 years in a row, and then obviously this year finishing 10th. So I think most Kelty fans will probably tell you League One is probably Kelty just punching a little bit above their weight, and maybe looking at those finishes every year, that probably bears that out a little bit. I think we probably would have all, when we started this journey from way back in the Super League days in the SJFA, if you told us we were going to have 4 seasons back to back in League One, I think most people would have taken the hand off you for that. So in that respect, I think it's been a good ride for the club. I think, like I say, next season I would like to think we would be maybe not starting off as favourites, but we would certainly fancy ourselves to be competing at the top end of the table. If maybe not for the automatic promotion spot, then definitely for the promotion playoffs. But you know, that's a long way away. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves right now. It's going to be this time next year before we even get a chance to think about that. But yeah, I think next season you just need to take it on the chin, move forward, and look forward to playing a decent level of football still, and hopefully being able to be competitive against the teams we're going to come up against. So I think that's probably enough for this video. Just like to take a moment, as always, to thank everybody who has watched. If you've liked the content here, then please like and subscribe and leave a comment. All of that helps us to get the channel out to some more viewers, and hopefully to spread the word a little bit. We have got 1 game left in the League One this season, and that will be next weekend. Kelty will be up at Peterhead, so I'll be up there. I'll do my usual video for that, and I think after that, that's the season done. There may still be some other games in East of Scotland League or something like that, so I'll probably manage to squeeze in another couple of videos at least for the remainder of this season. And then, like I say, once all the dust has settled, we can start maybe having a wee look at what next year's opponents are going to be, and how we think that might shape up for the season 26-27. But for now, as always, have a great week, and I will see you next weekend.